The next time your boss gives you trouble, remember one thing to look on the bright side. Somewhere in San Francisco, a 38-year-old billionaire is simultaneously preparing for digital utopia and civilizational collapse. You see, Sam Altman built an AI empire so powerful it scared his own board into firing him, only to watch nearly every employee threaten to walk out unless he returned. Thus, with a multi-billion-dollar fortune built from teaching machines to think and an apocalypse bunker filled with Israeli gas masks, Altman embodies Silicon Valley's most fascinating contradiction. In today's episode, we share the story of a techno-optimist who keeps gold bars handy just in case he's wrong about the future he's creating, as we describe. The $100 billion rise, fall, and return of Sam Altman. Money talks in Silicon Valley, and in March 2024, Sam Altman's fortune finally spoke loud enough to earn him a spot on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. The tech wunderkind materialized on the list with a cool $2 billion, amassed through a dizzying portfolio of over 400 companies worth a rather tidy $2.8 billion. And the crown jewel in Altman's glittering collection is, of course, OpenAI, a company whose October valuation of $157 billion makes other tech unicorns look like pocket change. A $6.6 billion funding round certainly helped polish that particular gem. Microsoft clearly spotted the sparkle early, pouring $13 billion into what Altman, with his characteristic flair for the understated, dubbed the best bromance in tech. Rather handy, having the world's second most valuable company as your corporate BFF. The young titan's reach extends well beyond teaching computers to chat. While other tech moguls play with rockets, Altman went nuclear, literally. As chairman of both Helion Energy and Oklo Inc., he's betting big on fusion and fission. His 9% stake in Reddit before its IPO proved he could spot a winner, while his WorldCoin cryptocurrency venture through Tools for Humanity demonstrated his talent for stirring up regulatory hornets' nests from San Francisco to Hong Kong. OpenAI's corporate structure reads like a Silicon Valley Zen riddle, a non-profit controlling a for-profit entity. This peculiar arrangement perfectly captures the Altman paradox, a capitalist's drive wrapped in a philanthropist's intentions. ChatGPT, the company's viral sensation, transformed OpenAI from an academic curiosity into a commercial powerhouse, with Microsoft's Azure-tinted supercomputers humming away in the background. But success breeds scrutiny, and Altman's pivot from pure non-profit to capped profit raised more than a few eyebrows in the valley. The move planted seeds of discord that would later bloom into corporate drama of Shakespearean proportions. The man himself embodies Silicon Valley's most delicious contradictions. Here stands a billionaire who signed the giving pledge to donate his fortune while maintaining a rather well-appointed apocalypse bunker in Big Sur, complete with guns, gold, and Israeli military-grade gas masks. A tech philosopher king who splits his time between advising San Francisco's mayor-elect and preparing for doomsday. But even as Altman's influence reached into City Hall, a storm was brewing in his own boardroom, one that would test whether artificial intelligence's brightest star could keep his grip on the very empire he built. On the 22nd of April, 1985, in Chicago, Illinois, a child was born into a Jewish family who would later reshape the technological landscape. Sam Altman's early years unfolded not in the shadows of Chicago's skyscrapers, but in the heartland city of St. Louis, Missouri, where his mother worked as a dermatologist and his father as a real estate broker. At the age of 8, young Sam received the gift that would alter the trajectory of his life, an Apple Macintosh computer. While other children played with conventional toys, Altman immersed himself in the machine's inner workings, learning not just to code, but to disassemble and understand the hardware itself. As the eldest of 4 siblings, he displayed an early appetite for understanding the fundamental architecture of technology that would later serve him in his grandest ventures. The halls of John Burroughs School, a private institution in Ladue, Missouri, became the stage for Altman's first public stand. At 17, when some students objected to a National Coming Out Day speaker, Altman chose this moment to reveal his own truth, coming out as gay. This early display of conviction in the face of opposition foreshadowed the leadership qualities that would later define his career. His path led him to Stanford University, where he dove into computer science. But traditional education would prove too confining for Altman's ambitions. After 2 years, in 2005, at the age of 19, he made the pivotal decision to drop out. Not to drift, but to build. This choice would lead to his first company, Looped, a location-based social networking mobile application that would serve as his initial foray into the tech world. The young entrepreneur showed early signs of the deal-making prowess that would later become his hallmark. At an age when most of his peers were still attending college lectures, Altman was raising more than $30 million in venture capital for Looped. The initial $5 million investment came from Patrick Chung of X-Fund and New Enterprise Associates, followed by support from the prestigious Sequoia Capital and Y Combinator, names that would become integral to his future empire. But the seeds of future conflicts were already present in these early years. Looped's management team would twice attempt to remove Altman as CEO for what they termed deceptive and chaotic behavior, an early echo of the dramatic boardroom battles that lay ahead. These experiences, though challenging, would prove invaluable lessons in the art of corporate survival. Personal life intertwined with professional ambition during these formative years. His relationship with Looped co-founder Nick Sevo would span 9 years, ending shortly after the company's acquisition in 2012. This period of his life demonstrated Altman's ability to navigate complex personal and professional relationships, a skill that would prove crucial not only in the boardroom dramas to come, but in the future of technology itself. In March 2012, Sam Altman sold Looped for $43 million to Green Dot Corporation. While the startup had failed to gain significant user traction, this exit marked not an ending, but a beginning. Within a month, he and his brother Jack launched Hydrazine Capital, planting the seeds of what would become a vast investment empire. The doors of Y Combinator opened to Altman in 2011, first as a part-time partner. By February 2014, at just 28, he ascended to its presidency, chosen by legendary founder Paul Graham. Under Altman's leadership, YC's collective company valuations soared beyond $65 billion, including titans like Airbnb, Dropbox, Zenefits, and Stripe. His vision expanded beyond mere numbers. He aimed to fund 1,000 new companies annually, pushing particularly into hard technology startups that could reshape industries. But it was in December 2015 that Altman would make his most fateful move. Alongside Elon Musk, Greg Brockman, Ilya Sutskever and others, he co-founded OpenAI. The initial pledge was ambitious: $1 billion committed to ensuring artificial intelligence would benefit humanity. The project began modestly in Brockman's living room, yet its aspirations reached to the very future of human civilization. The founding team was extraordinary. Musk, already famous for Tesla and SpaceX, brought star power and initial funding as the largest donor. The recruitment drive, led by Brockman, targeted the field's brightest minds. They offered corporate-level salaries, though not matching Google or Facebook levels, but attracted talent through a greater currency, the chance to shape humanity's future. Yet within this idealistic beginning lay the seeds of future conflict. Musk would later depart in 2018, citing potential conflicts with Tesla's AI development. Altman claims Musk proposed taking over OpenAI himself, a suggestion the board rejected. This early tension between control and mission would foreshadow greater dramas to come. A crucial turning point arrived in 2019 when Altman transformed OpenAI from a pure non-profit into a capped profit entity. This controversial decision allowed for greater investment, but sparked debate about the organization's soul. Microsoft soon entered with a $1 billion investment, beginning what Altman would call the best bromance in tech. The gamble paid off spectacularly in November 2022 with ChatGPT's release. The chatbot's launch was a watershed moment, gaining over 1 million users in 5 days and catalyzing widespread interest in generative AI. OpenAI's valuation soared to $80 billion, and Microsoft deepened its investment to $13 billion. And Altman's influence expanded beyond OpenAI. He invested in nuclear energy companies, served as Reddit's CEO for 8 days in 2014, and became a prominent voice on AI safety. His testimony before Congress and meetings with world leaders transformed him from a tech executive into a global figure shaping the discourse around artificial intelligence's future. As 2023 approached its end, Altman stood at the peak of his influence. Yet in the halls of OpenAI, tensions were building between commercial success and the original mission, between profit and safety, between control and oversight. On the 17th of November 2023, while watching the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Sam Altman received a Google Meet invitation that would shake the foundations of Silicon Valley. In a brief meeting lasting barely 10 minutes, OpenAI's board of directors, Helen Toner, Ilya Sutskever, Adam D'Angelo, and Tasha McCauley, informed him of his immediate removal as CEO. Within 30 minutes, Greg Brockman, his longtime ally and OpenAI's president, received similar news. The board's public statement claimed Altman was not consistently candid in his communications. Behind the scenes, deeper concerns lurked. Board members worried about his handling of a secretive project codenamed Q, aimed at developing AI capabilities in mathematical reasoning. More troublingly, 2 executives had reported psychological abuse, providing screenshots and documentation of what they called lying and manipulative behavior. The tech world erupted. Microsoft, having invested $13 billion in OpenAI, learned of Altman's removal just 1 minute before the public announcement. Investors were blindsided. Microsoft's stock dropped 3%, while WorldCoin, Altman's cryptocurrency project, plunged 12%. What followed was a 5-day drama worthy of Shakespeare. Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's chief scientist, emerged as the architect of Altman's removal. The board appointed Mira Murati as interim CEO, but negotiations to reinstate Altman began almost immediately under pressure from investors. When these talks failed, they named former Twitch CEO Emmett Shear as the new interim leader. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella made a bold move, announcing that Altman and Brockman would join Microsoft to lead a new advanced AI research team. But this was not the end. In an unprecedented show of loyalty, 738 of OpenAI's 770 employees signed an open letter threatening mass resignation unless Altman was reinstated and the board resigned. The rebellion's most dramatic turn came when Sutskever, who had led the charge against Altman, publicly switched sides. On social media, he expressed regret for his role in the board's actions, joining the employee revolt against his own decision. As competitors like Anthropic, Google DeepMind and others circled, hoping to capitalize on the chaos, OpenAI's very existence hung in the balance. Over 100 companies using OpenAI's technology began exploring alternatives. Multiple investors contemplated legal action against the board. After intense negotiations, on November 21st, Altman triumphantly returned as CEO. The board was reconstructed with Brett Taylor as chairman and economist Lawrence Summers joining, while Adam D'Angelo remained as the sole survivor of the previous board. The terms included an internal investigation into Altman's conduct to be conducted by WilmerHale lawyers. The cost of this corporate upheaval was steep. OpenAI delayed product launches, including its online chatbot store. The crisis exposed deep rifts within the company between those prioritizing AI safety and those pushing for rapid commercial development. Yet Altman emerged not just intact, but arguably stronger, having demonstrated both his indispensability to OpenAI and his ability to command loyalty in Silicon Valley's highest stakes power plays. The dust from November's battle had barely settled when new storms gathered around Sam Altman's restored empire. In February 2024, Elon Musk, once a friend and co-founder, launched a lawsuit against OpenAI and Altman, claiming they had betrayed their original mission by prioritizing profit over humanity's benefit. OpenAI's response was swift and cutting. They were doing just fine without Elon Musk, dismissing his claims as incoherent and frivolous. Legal challenges multiplied like lines of code. Authors including George R.R. Martin, John Grisham, and Sarah Silverman filed lawsuits alleging copyright infringement. The New York Times joined the fray, challenging OpenAI's use of their content to train its models. Behind closed doors, both the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Southern New York U.S. Attorney's Office opened investigations into whether Altman's statements had misled investors. The human cost of AI development became increasingly apparent. Former employees revealed OpenAI's use of Kenyan workers, paid between $1.30 and $2 per hour, to review toxic content for AI training. When workers began leaving the company, it emerged that OpenAI required them to sign lifelong, non-disparagement agreements or forfeit their equity, a practice Altman claimed ignorance of, though leaked documents would later challenge this assertion. May 2024 brought fresh upheaval as key figures departed. Ilya Sutskever, the chief scientist who had both orchestrated and apologized for Altman's November ouster, resigned. Helen Toner, a former board member, publicly detailed the original reasons for Altman's firing, including allegations of withholding information about ChatGPT's release and his ownership of OpenAI's startup fund. Yet amid these challenges, Altman's personal and professional influence continued to grow. In January 2024, he married engineer Oliver Mulherin at their Hawaiian estate. The couple, who split their time between San Francisco's Russian Hill neighborhood and weekend retreats in Napa, signed the Giving Pledge in May 2024, committing to donate most of their wealth. OpenAI's value soared to unprecedented heights, while Altman pursued ambitious projects like Stargate, a potential AI supercomputer representing an investment of up to $100 billion. His apocalyptic preparations continued in parallel, maintaining a Big Sur retreat stocked with guns, gold, potassium iodide, antibiotics, and gas masks from the Israel Defense Forces. The tension between profit and purpose remained unresolved. OpenAI quietly removed its ban on military applications, while its tools became essential for AFRICOM's mission. Altman's influence extended into politics, with his appointment to San Francisco Mayor-elect Daniel Lurie's transition team and his advocacy for universal basic income and universal basic compute, proposing to give everyone a slice of ChatGPT's computing power. As 2024 has progressed, Altman stands at the intersection of humanity's hopes and fears about artificial intelligence. His journey from a young coder in St. Louis to one of the architects of humanity's technological future embodies Silicon Valley's greatest contradictions: idealism versus profit, openness versus secrecy, individual brilliance versus collective responsibility. Indeed, the price of digital power, it seems, is eternal vigilance and eternal controversy. And now, we'd love to see you in the comments. What is your opinion on Sam Altman and OpenAI generally? Is it one of the giant leaps for mankind, so to speak, in the technology realm? Or is it another future predatory tech giant? We look forward to hearing from you. And with that said, thanks for joining us for another episode of Old Money Luxury. Cheers, until next time.